Today we're going to touch on the basic 5 components of a AAA program, which I've mentioned before are the important components to make a developed AAA program successful. We're going to skip over 2 or 3 of them, which are relatively self-explanatory, to get to a couple that maybe need a little additional detail. The first one relates to ice time. True AAA high-end program would have somewhere between 75 and 125 practice hours during their season, which would run somewhere near the 3rd week in August to the 1st week in March or 1st week in April, depending on the age of the kids. So traditional AA programs, they give roughly 40 hours of ice 2 times a week over 20 to 23, 24 weeks. So between 40 and 50 hours of practice ice. So needless to say, the 75 to 125 practice hours versus 40 to 50, substantially different ice, and it directly correlates to player development. The second potential area is teaching progressions. An organization should have teaching progressions related to all aspects of the game, from teaching the basic skills to teaching hockey sense to teaching team concepts. Those should be implemented by the organization and implemented by the coaches. Should not be left to each coach to determine what they feel like teaching that particular season. They may be great, they may be bad, but there's no consistency, and no consistency year to year leads to lost opportunities even for the high-end players. Coach may be great at one age, but not know as he gets older, and by the time they figure out that he doesn't really know or is not teaching it correctly, it's too late. So the organization needs to step in and put some progressions in place to get that done. Player retention is very difficult in this area, especially because the number of AAA type programs, or so-called AAA, and people don't feel like they're getting enough out of their program. They jump around, they see another team doing well, they want to go there. They don't realize that every time they jump, they take a step back in their development, no matter how good the program is. So minimize the number of jumps, keep the retention of the kids. That base is needed if you do have the skill progressions in place and you can teach hockey sense. It's very important to do that with a core group of players. New players filtering in can learn from that core. I'm going to get into the final piece of this, a few more minutes on it, the hockey sense. Hockey sense is a crucial aspect of a player's development. It needs to start when they're squirts, and it needs to be a main focus of development. End of their squirts, and especially peewee and bantam years. By the time it gets to be midget, it still can be taught, but it's much, much more difficult, and usually opportunities are lost at that point. It does not matter how much skill development you do, the clinics, the classes, the private lessons, the power skating, if you cannot teach hockey sense during those sessions. It must be learned in a group setting, in a team format, and in a progression type of setup. I'm going to give you a couple quick examples. If you're a forward, you can watch your kid's team or watch your kid and see plus or minus. I'll give you one aspect of hockey sense. Play gets dumped in the zone, in the offensive zone. Your player charges in to get after the puck. They get possession of the puck either by having it passed to them or by taking it from an opponent. If your player, when they get the puck on their stick, go back into the traffic where the puck just came from, or they pass it back into that traffic, or they blindly turn and fire it to an open area, not to a person, no hockey sense in that particular aspect of the game. If, on the other hand, your player does get possession of the puck, turns and skates to open ice to create time and space for themselves, that aspect of the game is hockey sense, and that is a positive sign. Once they do that, that's one step. The next step would be, what do they do when they get to that open space? Do they actually have their head up looking for options, teammates, or lanes or seams in the defense where they might be able to take the puck to the red zone or to the net? If they take advantage of that and do cut through the seams and do skate the puck to open areas, that's another phase in that process. That's a good sign. If they, on the other hand, they skate and don't make a play when it's appropriate, or don't hit the seam when it's there, and they end up getting taken off the puck or lose the puck or throw it away, that's that's now where they need to continue their development of hockey sense in that aspect of that component. So now if they happen to get past that and they're finding the lane, they're getting to the net, they're creating those options. Now you need to take a look at the other two players on their line. Are those two players moving, creating opportunities, creating open passing lanes for their teammate to give them the puck, or are they standing still and watching? Standing still and watching, that's a problem. The hockey sense and that related to that aspect of the game needs to be taught or worked on. If they're moving and skating and their feet don't stop and they're creating opportunities for their teammate to give them the puck, great sign. Sign that hockey sense is evolving related to that aspect of the game. All good. But you should be able to very easily determine whether that's happening or not. If you're a defenseman, just a simple one there. If you're making a play in the neutral zone, puck is in the neutral zone. The other team has the puck. Is your defenseman within 10 feet or less of the opponent's forward? So if the a play is made to them, they can step up in the neutral zone and make a play there. Or are they 10, 15, 20 feet away from that forward, just in a stationary spot? And if the puck gets to that forward, they're in no position to make a play and probably end up backing into their own end. Very simple concept, but it is hockey sense. If they're moving and changing and keeping their gap within reason, so when the puck does come, they make a play, positive sign. If they're not and they're constantly backing away and they're in no position to make a play when the puck gets there, not a good sign. Hockey sense is not happening related to that aspect of the game. That happens there's hundreds of situations that happen in the sport that related to how hockey sense is a factor. Those are just two quick ones that'll give you an idea of looking at your own situation to see where it's developing or not developing within your team. One thing you should make sure, it better be developing, because if it doesn't, and if you're not getting it, no matter how skilled you are and how much time you put into private stuff, with related to individual skills, you will have no opportunity to play at the higher levels, meaning high-end juniors, USHL, OHL, or college level hockey, if you do not have those hockey sense aspects to your game. Too many good players that have the skills, very few that have the hockey sense. The hockey sense guys are the ones that move on. So that's in a nutshell what is involved there. We'll be talking a little bit more detail down the road. Thank you.